So Craig, we're still on Happy New Year's actually. It's obviously, yeah, cheers Rob. We're still on Happy New Year's and all that.
Yes.
Happy New Year to you. How was your break? I see you basically in the gym the whole time anyway.
Yeah, I've been in the gym the whole time, just itching, ready to fight really. Just waiting for a fight date. I've been ready to go. I don't really take time off really. I'm a full-time athlete, so yeah.
And of course, it's a new gym. It's a new setup for you. Talk us through how that all happened, because it came as a bit of a shock for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Talk us through how this whole move came about.
Well, it was one of them situations where I felt like at some point I needed to progress in my career. And when you're looking around at different options, I think it was safe to say this for me definitely was the best option. I've seen Shane train years and years, even before pro, and I've always respected him as a trainer and realised his level of training. And I thought to myself, I'm going to level up. I need that sort of trainer to be with me in my corner and progressing me and pushing me on. And yeah, the decision was kind of made in my head. I came down here, done a couple of weeks. Well, I already knew from a couple of days in that this is where I was going to stay. And then, yeah, I made all the moves from there on.
Was it a hard decision to leave? Obviously, you've been there in that setup for years. Must have been getting on, what, 10 years or so?
About 8 years.
Yeah, how hard was that decision to make the move at this point in your career?
Yeah, it's always difficult when you're getting used to the comfortability of being somewhere. So it's always even sometimes it might not be the best option for you at the time, but it's being comfortable somewhere. It's natural just to stay, but sometimes you got to put aside and work out what's actually going to be better for you and for your career. And put all your emotional attachments aside and make that decision, and that's what I had to do.
How did this might be an awkward one? How did the sort of decision go down? With presumably you went, right, I'm gonna have to leave here now.
Yeah.
How was it received?
It was okay. It was a decision I feel like everyone understood. It was the right decision for me at the right time, and I think everyone understood that. It wasn't hostile. It wasn't an argument. It wasn't any fallouts. It was very amicable. We spoke about it, sat down. It was like, okay, yeah, that probably makes sense for you. I'm going to push on in my career. So yeah.
How's the switch been initially? How long have you been there now? A few weeks, a couple of months?
Yeah, about just over a month, I think. 6 weeks, 6 weeks, about 5 weeks, I think. It's been brilliant. I've been learning loads, progressing loads, exactly kind of what I thought, but I've actually been learning more than I thought I'd be learning. So I'm a sort of fighter who's excited to learn and progress. So for me, it's every day it's exciting. Yeah, it's been good.
Because you're sort of at an age and a level of experience where you've sort of seen it all, and you've been in the gym for years and years.
Yeah.
Were you surprised at how much you can still pick up and absorb at this point in your career?
No, I'm not. I'm a student of the game, and I understand boxing is something we're always progressing. And you can never think you know it all. I think the moment you get to the point where you think you know it all, you might as well pack it up, because that means you're not willing to learn, and that means you're not enthusiastic about it. So I knew I had a lot to learn. I knew I had a lot of things tidying up. I didn't have a massive amateur pedigree. I've been learning the job as a pro, and I just knew there were certain elements what was probably not getting me over the line at certain times in big fights, and I had to make the decision to kind of make changes to be able to level up as a fighter. And it's like, who can teach you that to progress on to the next level? So it wasn't surprising that I'd be learning new things, surprising how much new things I've been learning, yeah, but not that I'll be learning new things.
And you know a lot of the boys as well at the gym, obviously Callum Smith been a sort of sparring partner of yours as well.
Yeah.
So it kind of must have been a nice environment to come straight into.
Yeah, I've spent obviously a lot of time down here over the years anyway, sparring with Chris, etc. You know, they've come up to us, we've gone down to them. So it wasn't like a new set of people that I've never met before or seen. So it was kind of like I already knew what to expect coming here, which was nice.
Also, what's the plan now? Because a lot of times, a lot of people at the start of a year will always say, this is my year, it's a big year for me. Yeah. But it looks like it's all kind of set up for you. You've had a quiet couple of years with problems and injuries and whatnot. It must feel like, obviously, a fresh start on the training front, but in terms of opportunities, it kind of is all open for you. Is that how you feel?
Well, you know, a lot of people say, this is my year, but so I won't start with that. But I generally do think this year will be a good year for me, in terms of everything, as you say, set up in place for that now. We've had a lot of problems behind the scenes. We've got over all of them problems. There were certain things with my training, etc., what I needed to sort out, and we've done all of that, and we've made the moves, and now I'm seeing the progression. So now what's left now is the fights, and get the ball rolling and activity. That's what's really important for me this year. Getting activity, get the ball rolling again, and get back into them big fights. And I generally believe I'll deliver a lot better performances. And yeah.
What's the last sort of 18 months? Because as we mentioned before, lightheartedly, the idea of the Craig Richards shadow ban and the secret ban and that. But what would you put that down to? The inactivity is probably the wrong word, but it's been a stuttering sort of 18 months. I'm sure you'd agree.
Yeah.
What's it been down to mainly?
Bit of bad luck, and just a bit of I don't know. Like I would say, like last year, 2022. I had caught a viral infection, obviously on fight week, unexpected. People get ill in camp, but not usually a couple of days before the fight that bad. So that was just a bit of bad luck, which I wanted to get out straight away. Next couple of weeks, I was like, look, I'll get over this week. I can train a week and get back in, but obviously there was no more shows. Then we got rescheduled for April. Chief support on the AJ Franklin card, perfect, buzzing. I was flying in camp, ripped the ligament in my hand. Disappointed, frustrated. We got halfway through the year. I started training again, getting prepared to get back out. Obviously at the stage of my career, it ain't like you can just name a show and jump on it doing a 4-rounder. It's got to be like fights have got to make sense. So we were trying to sort something out for September, then it was October, then it was November, then it was like, look, it will definitely be before Christmas. But then there was talks of me and Lyndon Arthur having a fight, which was then going to be pushed back to January, which I was like, look, it's only a month more, I'll wait it out. Then it was pushed back to the 2nd of February, which I thought, not ideal, but as long as something's there. And then obviously we got to December and he got that opportunity, which obviously I can understand why you'd take it. No, no arguments to him. But so he went on to do that, which left me in the cold a little bit, which now I've just been in the gym, staying positive and just waiting for my opportunity to arise again for a fight.
You've obviously promotionally been a Matchroom boy for a while and boxing on DAZN and whatnot. What's the situation there? Are you a free agent now, or are you with Matchroom? Like, what can you box on any platform?
Well, I haven't really looked into my promotional situation. I assume that I'm still in the same situation that I'm in. I only changed, obviously, trainer and manager, and that's all for now.
Okay. And then in terms of what's next, like, do you have any idea on date, or is there any plan put forward by Eddie or anything like that you can tell us about?
Well, hopefully ASAP, that's all I know. I just want to fight ASAP, so I'll leave it down to Shane, Jake, and they'll probably hopefully get back to me with a date as soon as possible, really.
It's been at the top end of your division at light heavyweight. It's been a sort of strange situation because of the belts are tied up with the same two people who haven't boxed each other and whatnot. But over the next 6 months or even less, there's going to be a much clearer picture with the division, of course. We just saw Bivol defend successfully against Lyndon Arthur. Just reflect on that. How do you feel that he boxed in that fight? Obviously dropped Lyndon and got the win in the end, and he's still, still the champion. How did you view that one?
Yeah, it was a situation where a lot of people thought Bivol might get the stoppage. Sometimes people were saying it's hard to get the stoppage when someone's being negative. So Lyndon came in there to try and do what he could do, but you can't say it's a bad performance with Bivol, because out of 12 rounds, he won 13 rounds out of 12 on all the scorecards. So you can't win by much more. So he done what he's supposed to do and pushes on. I think maybe stylistically, Lyndon's mindset going into the fight wasn't allowing Bivol to do what he could do. I think when Lyndon did try to engage, he got hurt, got put down, and you realise it wasn't a good idea.
And then a few weeks later, the rest of the belts in the division are boxed for, and Artur Beterbiev against Callum Smith. Yeah. Again, will give us a much better idea of what the picture of the division is. How do you see that fight going? I
think it's a real 50-50 fight. I think it's a good fight. I think stylistically, it's going to be entertaining. They both like to go for the stoppage. They both can punch. Beterbiev's knocked out everyone he's fought at light heavyweight. I think Callum's actually stopped everyone he's fought now at light heavyweight. I could see Callum winning it. I wouldn't be surprised at all. But it's a 50-50 fight.
So if you assume then the winner of that in Quebec boxes Dmitry Bivol, middle of this year-ish, where do you see yourself sliding into that picture?
So the winner of that will be fighting me at the end of the year.
That's the idea?
That's the idea. Then I'll be the unified champion and we move on.
Is there any, obviously you boxed Bivol before, and we've spoken in the past about the moments in that fight where you thought, I'll get him next time, and he just wasn't there. So you sort of made the adjustments, I assume, and you're sort of older and wiser now.
Yeah.
What is it that gives you that confidence that if you do get the shot at the winner of all of that, that you can do it and you can become world champion?
Well, I feel like the experience I had at the time, I only just won the British title and I stepped straight up to the world level, boxing the world elite, pound for pound at the time. And I spent a lot of the early rounds figuring out this level, what's it like, what's going on. The time I settled in and realized, I'm ready for this level, round 7, and I pushed on. That's obviously clearly why I've given him the closest fight he's had up to date, but coming short by half a round and 1 round. And it'll just be a situation of now I know my capabilities, except especially now, top class trainer, Shane McGuigan as well. He would have identified things in myself that I could have done better, as well as Bivol. So it's new set of eyes also. I feel like it'll just be a continuation to round 13 with Bivol rather than starting again like round 1. Round 13, you know what to expect. Obviously, he's going to change things and make certain adjustments, but you kind of gauge his power, his speed, etc. And it's just pushing on from that the next time I get a sort of fight like that. And I'm more than confident I'll get over the line this time.
The month of February, month of February is a big month for British light heavyweights. Anthony Yard's out early on, and of course, Azeez and Joshua Buatsi finally fighting, 2 of your sort of London rivals.
Yeah.
How do you see that fight going? Joshua Buatsi, a big favourite. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I would agree with that. Definitely would tip Joshua Buatsi to be the favourite in that fight. I just think by the punch power, experience, etc., I would believe that he should get over the line. Obviously, boxing's a strange sport, so anything can happen. No, Dan's not a pushover. He's tough. He's durable, and he's got a good engine on him. So that can play positive factors on his side of things. But at the same time, Buatsi, he's a very good operator.
Do you think Joshua Buatsi's a future world champion?
Yeah, I believe so. He could be, depending if I get the belts first or not. But yeah, he's definitely a world-class operator.
Nice one, Craig. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Amazing. Thank you, mate.